A very welcome to TV, and you're watching Open Debate in English. I'm Chongtham Amrita, and today we're going to be debating and discussing on the topic, are we back to square one? This is in regards to the context that the fresh attacks that have been launched by the cookies yesterday, just after the rallies that was taken on August 31. On August 31, cookies organized a large rallies in Kuki-dominated areas of Manipur and also at the Jantar Mantar at New Delhi. The main demand was for the central government to investigate the leaked audio recording of the Chief Minister that was released by the Wire magazine. The very same day, the Chief Minister announced that the Meitei-Kuki conflict would be resolved in 6 months. However, on 1st of September, that is yesterday, the Kukis have launched fresh attacks widespread with guns and bomb attacks at western foothills affecting villages like Kovtruk, Kadangban, Sekmai and Yangpokpi. A young woman was killed and 11 others were injured, including a security personnel and a media person as well. Some houses were also burnt down. These events echo the pattern of the last 16 months where mass rallies are followed by widespread violence. And even now, as we speak, bomb attacks are being carried out at a village in Sanjamchirang. Reports have been confirmed that a young girl has been struck by the bomb attack and is injured. This time, the changes in the nature of attacks is that drones are now used to bomb Meitei houses, a tactic that is seen in conflicts in Ukraine and Myanmar. And despite this alarming escalation, the government remains in a state of wishful thinking with a simple declaration saying that peace will return in Manipur in 6 months. To discuss and debate on this matter, we have our expert panelists for this episode joining us through online medium. Our first panelist for tonight is Oja and Satyajeet, Bureau Chief, UNI. Oja, welcome to Open Debate. Our second panelist for tonight is Oja Malem Ningthouja, author and academician. Oja, welcome to Open Debate. And our third panelist for tonight is Oja Shanta Nahakpam, Secretary General, UCM. Oja, welcome to Open Debate. Oja, I think you're on mute. Can you please unmute so that we can begin?
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much and good evening.
Good evening. So let's start right away. So my first question to set the tone and floor of the debate today is to Oja and Satyajeet. My question is that curfew has been imposed across Imphal West from 7 a.m. on 1st of September. That is yesterday. That was reported in the Shanghai Express in Manipuri edition, saying that curfew was imposed from 7 a.m. yesterday, which was kind of weird, which was hours before the actual attack began, because the actual attack had happened at around 1 p.m. So the question is, did the administration foresee that such kind of events would be happening yesterday? And was it based on intelligence or was it just a premonition? And the second question is that if they knew something, why didn't they not attack or did not act at time so that people could be saved? So my first question to, as I said, Digit, what are your thoughts on that?
Amrita, thank you for having me in this wonderful discussion, and my greetings to the other panelists. I would say that first of all, as you asked, there was a little confusion because we saw two contradictory orders. One was issued that the curfew would be imposed from the morning itself, while the other order said that there will be no curfew. It would be the normal from 10 p.m. So there was a little confusion in that aspect also. But I would say that the Manipur government started conducting military operations since August, especially in the Manipur Valley. In the particular area where we are speaking about, that is Kovtruk yesterday, I mean, we have met the victim. They informed that, that they were directed to ask all the village defenders to go away from the area. Otherwise, the owners of the house, they will be held accountable. Actions will be taken against them. That means very harsh actions were taken against the villagers and the village defense force. In that aspect, what we were expecting was an intervention from the government of India or government of Manipur to send in troops who can protect the common citizens. Because during the last 16 months, we have seen a trend. Whenever, as you asked, whenever the government has sent out green lips, when sent out initiatives to end the crisis, to resolve the crisis, we have seen that the some peoples who are living in the hill areas, they have targeted Tikama citizens. They have no remorse in killing innocent women and children. And in fact, yesterday's, if anyone, everybody must have been shocked by yesterday's incident. If anyone is not shocked, I would say that they are not humans. And I would say that I think I am also shocked by the reaction of the entire nations. I am asking, where has the conscience of the entire nation gone? A woman, she was a extremely young woman, just 32 years old. She was with her daughter. She was shot at, and bombs were dropped from the air. Sophisticated weapons were used. I mean, it has shocked the entire people of Manipur, and the problem is, it has not shocked the nation. We have not yet seen any condemnation about the killing of the innocent women, and so many women and children were injured. This is quite shocking that nobody has condemned it from the center, except a sentence from the Home Department of the Manipur government. And if you analyze the developments during the last 16 months, or rather during the last from the 1960s onwards, the movement of the cookie movement, the cookie terrorists, I would say that that they are harping on a system, they are using a system through which they want to achieve whatever they want through violence. And I think what we need to do is to, I think, intensify the intelligence and surveillance mechanism. Our surveillance and intelligence mechanism are extremely poor. How is it possible for people who are armed to the teeth to attack innocent civilians? I will repeatedly say that, and we have discussed this earlier also, that the attacks are not coming from a foreign country. It is coming from our own home, from our own state. And if you look at the places from where the attacks have occurred, you will notice that there are lots of battalions of the central forces, and state forces are also stationed there. And so I think the government of India and the government of Manipur have failed to respect the dignity of the people of Manipur. They have failed to protect the lives and properties of the people of Manipur. And this has been going for a very, very pretty long time. The prolonged, the allowing of the crisis for a very prolonged period, it will be quite dangerous in the latter aspect of the in the history of Manipur also. And I think this is the perfect time to launch a counter terrorism operations, because we have seen that the activities that they are doing is not normal activities, it is terrorist activities. We can use the word terror, especially from yesterday's incident, because they have no remorse in killing women and children. And if you look at the number of injured persons, they're all small children, and even two police personnel were injured also. And the other failure of the government of Manipur and the government of India is, after that crisis, the attack started today morning also. Right as we speak, as you said, attacks have been launched at Chongtham Chirang, and I just heard that 2 persons were injured. And where has gone the might of this mighty nation, which claims to be the 5th strongest economy? It has the huge army. It has about 40,000 security personnel, Manipur personnel. It is disposed in the state, and it has the mighty Indian army. It has Assam rifles. I think this is the time for the government of India to rise to the occasion and give out a message that it also exists to protect the people of Manipur. It also should convey to the people of Manipur that it respects the sentiments of the people of Manipur, and they have ignored and harassed the mentality, physically, the people of Manipur for such a prolonged time. And the other issue which I want to briefly mention is to address the root causes also, because the root causes in Manipur, we have noticed that there are ethnic based militancy rising in Manipur. We have seen, especially the 1960s Naga hostile letter, we call it Naga insurgency. To some extent, it has been resolved to some extent, and our Naga friends, after such a long history of movement of insurgency, they have realized that Manipur cannot be balkanized, and we all have to live together. That Manipur is such a is such a state that which cannot be disturbed, because people of Manipur, the 34 to 35 different ethnic groups of Manipur, they have sacrificed their life, they have dedicated their life, they have done whatever they can do to protect its territorial integrity. And to the people of Manipur, I think every Manipuri stands for the territorial integrity of Manipur, and they are ready to give their lives. So I think the government of India and the Naga insurgency was ready to. Then the other core issue is our, especially with the Kuki militants, the problem is the people who are thinking in a sane way, they are in the backside. I mean, everyone who is dictating from the day one itself are the, I would say, the Kuki militants. And in this aspect also, it is very unfortunate that those who are dictating the terms, those who are holding talks with the government of India are not from Manipur. One is from Myanmar, one is from Nagaland, others are mostly from Myanmar. And people who are coming from Myanmar are trying to decide the fate and future of Manipur. We will not allow this to happen. I think we have to convey this message in very, very strong words, strong terms to the government of India. And I think I think the next process should be to sanitize the area from where the actions are taking place. Thank you, Amrita.
But thank you, Joe. But also, there's one follow-up question that I'd like to know from you. That even last year, the incident that sparked on May 3rd, 2023, last year, and the conflict that has been ensuing for 16 months now, it was initiated by a mass rally in Kuki-dominated areas, and after that, this violence had occurred, and then we all know what had happened. So, do you think that the rally that took place on 31st of August is also another parallel and to initiate such kind of fresh violence attacks again? Because we have seen that this had happened before as well. So do you think that we need to be prepared for more attacks in the future, in the coming days, especially this week? And because, as we all know, this time the attacks are very sophisticated as well. What would you say to that?
Amrita, I would show this. I would briefly mention that it is the responsibility of the government of Manipur, as per the constitution, to maintain the law and order, to maintain public order as per the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. The government is supposed to do everything but to normalize the situation. The government of Manipur in other states or in other countries, what normally follow is, Amrita, example, if you want to conduct an rally, the organization should submit its document. The organizers should submit their documents. If in our case, we can say their Aadhaar, their license, and whatever. And if any violence takes place, then they should be held accountable. The problem in Manipur is nobody is held accountable. The May 3rd, 2023 is the problem is those who organized the rally, they were holding arms, they were firing, and they started attacking common citizens. The problems was with the government. Whatever problem they had, they can, they can ventilate their problems. They can express their problems to the government. It's a problem between the government of Manipur and the government of India and the people to some organizations. They can discuss it in the table, across the table, in whatever possible way. But the problem is, if you think that to achieve their goal, if they should attack fellow citizens, if they should attack indigenous people, if they should attack women and children, then I would say that the entire movement is built up on the issue of terror, on falsehood, and on criminality. Then the failure of the government of Manipur to take actions against those people, encourage them to organize such events later also. Because if you must have seen that on May 3, 2023, people who were organizing the rally, they were holding arms, and you can see their pictures, we can identify them, we know them, but the government of Manipur has taken no action to arrest them also. If anybody kills anybody, whosoever, whether it's a Meitei, it's a Naga, it's a Muslim, whosoever, if a person kills anybody, those persons should be held accountable and they should be punished and they should go to jail. That message was not given out. So it encourages criminal persons, with people with criminal tendency to repeat such action. That is why on August 31 also, they burned the house of senior citizens, especially Lamjatang Haukip, who was speaking something, who was ventilating his idea, who was speaking about how we should even they are not allowing their own people also to speak out their mind.
Right.
So I think they want to do everything through violence, and this is quite unfortunate.
Thank you for your points. I'll come back to you again in the next round. Now, moving on with this debate, I'll come to Oja Malem. That in the past few months, we have seen that some signs of de-escalation and some peace efforts have been discussed by both sides, especially the Meiteis and the Kukis as well. However, the sudden eruption of violence from yesterday, it says that it almost says as if those talks or whatever preparations does not mean a thing. So my question is, do you think that somebody is now orchestrating these renewed hostilities for that, so that this conflict does not end? And what might be the motive behind such fresh attacks again at this time?
Let me be very blunt. I would say that the Kuki terrorists are the proxies of a superior force that has been designing all these terror activities. And there is a history behind it, a long history spanning over decades. It's long prepared. And whatever the political message that our leader may try to say by saying that peace has restored, or whosoever believes that peace has been restored for the last 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, it's a miscalculation. Peace has never been restored. Disturbance has never been solved. The Kuki terrorists are only waiting for opportunity to unleash their strong preparations, upgrading their level of attack, upgrading their means of attacks. Peace have not restored because, as we could see in their political demands, their demands has not been changed. And we have not seen enough, or say adequate security initiatives to resolve this issue by the superior force who have built up these proxies and who is rallying behind it for other larger geostrategic interests and other counterinsurgency measures. So what we saw yesterday is not a sudden eruptions. The intelligence department should be well aware of it, the preparations, etc., etc., etc. Right? So like they get support. They get support, and they are being encouraged to do this, to press upon the victims, to create more chaos and to legitimize the demands. Like this violence has been used to legitimize the demands that these peoples cannot live together. This violence has been used as a threat warning to the peaceful, loving people who stand for the idea of Manipur that if you don't agree to your demand, there is a superior force behind us who allow us to do all these terror activities, who would not retaliate against us. You have no options than surrender. So it's a message of asking people who are defending the integrity of Manipur to say that we are militarily superior, diplomatically superior. You listen to our voice now. You have to surrender. Your state government can't do anything because we are supported by a superior force. We are going to carry out more offensive attacks. You will be the loser. So it's time now for you to surrender. That's the message that they want to give. They are giving.
Very good point indeed. So I'll take that to Oja Shanta, that Oja Malem has mentioned regarding a superior force who are actually backing these Kuki militants or terrorists, and also helping them in a way to carry out such attacks, because if they could control these Kuki terrorists, there has been plenty of time for them to control it, and it looks like it hasn't been done. So on that note, Oja Shanta, my question to you is that the people have lost any trust in both the government of Manipur and also the government of India, and now we have seen so many reports weeks ago. We have seen that the village volunteers have also are being arrested, are being targeted, and then there have been in the past we have seen that the chief minister himself has said that the village volunteers, they are not separatists and they are not anti-nationals, and to just be lenient on them. It looks like the village volunteers are also being disarmed, and then at the same time we see this kind of escalations and fresh violence. So Oja Shanta, so what are your thoughts on this, and also please supplement to our two other previous speakers as well. Oja, you're on mute. Can you unmute?
First of all, I would like to bring back to our memories that we have already lost trust to this government, and the law and order situation has already been collapsed. It's just a political statement that the things are well and going good, because what happened is, like, you just take a note that last 1 month there has been a very heavy intervention or this one meetings which went on with our chief minister and the army chief. If you remember, like 2 weeks back, the Indian Army chief was here in Imphal.
Right.
He was talking of operational preparedness. Then he even met major stakeholders, different generals, including BSF, CRPF, the Manipur DGP, and everybody. He took stock of everything, and suddenly, if after his coming to Manipur, if we come to see that such kind of things happen, then it must be a fact that there has been some influence. He came here to do survey something, or what he was planning. This is what my thoughts are. Right. Because since our chief minister seems to be very confident that he actually met the army chief, he met various Eastern Corps, this corps, that corps, and the IGR South, even the DG Assam Rifles was here few weeks back. This is an event of just 1 month. When the escalation actually stopped or did not stop, there is another question. Now, what we can look into is whether our government is willing to de-escalate the things, or what they have already succumbed to the terrorists. Because if you look into what has been happening since yesterday or few days back, the advancement of attack, the advancement of using weaponry and the arms and ammunition, and the way they have been attacking is quite different from a general village to village volunteer defending their home or their villages. You see, if you have a village on that side of the Kangpopi district, from the hilltop of Kautruk, if you go to Kautruk or Kadangban, you will see that the villages are just merely you can say 25 to 30 kilometers range. You see, because if there is a village on the top of the hill, there should be a police station, or there should be a CRPF, or there should be an army, army koi deployed near the village. Because this is usually done because to maintain the security of the villagers. Now, if they are attacking from that side using drone or some other advanced weaponry, then it is a fact that somebody is indeed helping them.
Right.
So what we have to look into is that what steps has the SDC, the DC, Deputy Commissioner, what reports are the IB sending to the government of India, what reports are being sent by different intelligence groups. The Assam Rifle has a different intelligence where then the CRPF is having a different intelligence where the Manipur police is having a different intelligence where now the SIB is there, then CBI, a lot of them are deployed here. So what the government is doing at present, and by looking into the attack and the defending, the mode of defense, you can't even see a single central forces in Kadangban yesterday. There was no single central forces in Kadangban except to the Manipur police. So it seems to be a coordinated effort. As per the Chief Minister's statement, our Honorable Chief Minister stated that the escalation of this issue, he is trying to use the Indian government, and through using the Indian government, he expects the whole issue to be resolved within 6 months. So, and just beyond that, just 24 hours before that, there was another rally where he was abused. His name was being used, and he was abused with derogatory words. So no FIR was taken up. So the thing is that if our government has succumbed, then our public should take the matter in our own hands. This is what is going to happen in near future. So it seems that the government of India wants the public to come out and another event, another era where everybody is up into arms, or everybody is on the road again to destroy the harmony and peace which took around 50 years to maintain this peace. Now the government of India is not even looking into the future, what is going to happen between the communities. So by the way, the idea of India, the idea of Manipur is not even considered. To me, it seems that the idea of Manipur is not even considered by the government of India, because even if the government of India separates Manipur into 10 parts or 30 parts, 40 parts, it still remains inside India. And we are going to use the Indian rupee, we are going to use we are going to eat Indian rice, we are going to get paid by Indian taxes. It seems to me that the government of India is even ready to destroy the harmony and peace and the territorial integrity, the administrative integrity of the state. So it is now hard time that we as a people, we decide how we go about it, how we protest, how we defend ourselves, and what arms or what technique, what theory we are going to move ahead with. This is what I want to point out in my first round. Thank you so much.
Yes, Oja, also in a follow-up question on that, because regarding, there is a lot of talk regarding the geopolitics and saying that some say that this is also another strategy to combat the geopolitics happening between India and Myanmar as well. And also there is a lot of cookies involved, even in Myanmar territory, who are fighting this against the military junta. So on that note, the thing is that the Indian side, the government of India, seems to be seeing the cookies now as a liability and instead of an asset. So it looks like they are going to abandon the cookies, support the cookies cause, to be precise. So on that note, do you think that this was a miscalculation from their side? Because if the government of India is beginning to abandon the cookies cause and support, so do you think that the cookie communities are frightened of that situation and are now trying to kind of put their position in the center stage by using violence and hence these fresh attacks?
That is the fact, because India government seems to have been using cookies to different cookie groups. Like cookie is actually a nomenclature. Okay, there was nothing like cookie which existed in Manipur. There was Thadao, Kongsai, different tribes existed here in Manipur. For example, the population of Thadao tribe as per 2011 census is around 2,20,000 or 30,000. Okay, out of which the major tribe, Assam, Manipur, and Nagaland, they were inhabitants of Assam, Manipur, and Nagaland. But as per 2011 census, Manipur scheduled tribe consisted of around 19% of Thadao. Now the issue is that how India is being using cookies. If you talk about that, you see like the Myanmar areas which are being bordered with Manipur was not inhabited by the Chins. The Chins started occupying only after this thing around 500 or 1,000 years back. So now what government of India has been using these cookies to suppress the northeastern northeastern revolutionary fronts who are operating from Myanmar. Now it seems that India government is stuck in their own trap, because now either they are not on that side or on this side. I think India government is now even finding difficult to solve the matter or even bring the cookies to so-called cookies or militants into their own table, because for example, during the 2000 last to last election, BJP government had promised that the issue of cookie separate administration or territorial council will be solved. Now they have gone beyond that. 10 MLAs has been now demanding a separate state. So it is already beyond what the government of India had expected, and now what we are looking into. Moreover, apart from that, the Chinese influence over Myanmar and the ongoing conflict in Myanmar, where the military junta is not a very good friend of India, and the problem which India is facing on all front, because India is having an issue with Nepal. In UP there is a land conflict with Nepal, where the Nepalese map had shown a district of UP, an area of UP into the Nepal kingdom. Now again we are having problem with Bangladesh, we are having problem with Myanmar. India doesn't want to create all problems on all front. That's why when we as a member of the United Committee Manipur, when we had met different generals, different colonels regarding the border pillar fencing, during that time also they had informally and unofficially out of the record informed us that we do not want conflict with Myanmar or all the front, because India is having conflict with China also. So I think India might have been thinking that, like, to support the Kuki issue or Kuki matter might be an easy way to tackle the Manipur revolution and the other, armed conflict in Manipur. Because you look back another 10 to 15 years, even they are not able to come to a conclusion with the NACN-IM accord. They are even having a different meaning of the whole accord. So I think India is now in a very bad position. Not the cookies, but India is now in a very bad position. Now, India, in the government of India and Manipur government has made our youths and all our youngsters come up in arms. And it's like in Manipur, if you call it like, they have put us on a proper track, where all our young generations are up with arms, and government of India has already preoccupied all the areas. They have deployed more than 40,000 forces. We are going to come back into an era when, during the 1990s, when we had lost so many people due to ASPA. While in the hills, the ASPA and other laws still exist, but they are not taking action on them. But we, as the Meitei and as a Manipuri, who has been living in this region with a history of around 3,000 years, they want to suppress us. This is what I strongly feel and I strongly condemn. So now that is why I was saying that we the people have to decide if our government is not able to control all these things. If the Indian, like you see this, the Indian intelligence is quite strong. They know like they are having the best satellites, they are having the best technology, they are having one of the strongest air force. But a small, community like Kuki, which like even not even around 10 lakh of people, if they are using drones and trying to destroy the historical image of a community and a prehistoric country, then we have to defend ourselves. This is what I have to say.
Thank you so much, Aja. I'll come back to you again in the next round. Now, moving on with the topic, that the title that we have, I'll move on to Aja Satyajeet again. Regarding these frequent attacks that are originating from these foothills in the Imphal West regions, these foothills, there is a very strategic peak that is near the Sports University, and this is now being fortified by the Kuki terrorists, and this is now a very good place for them to launch attacks on the Meitei villages. The thing is that this is such a space has been known to the government and also to the people of Manipur since the 3rd May attack last year, and it has been going on 16 months. There's no need to say about this any longer. But the thing is that why hasn't the government or the security forces taken any steps to consolidate this particular area? Because by consolidating this area and occupying this area by the security forces and also the state forces, it could prevent further such kinds of attacks. It could have prevented the attack that had happened yesterday or even today, because this is being launched from that particular area. So what are your thoughts, Aja Satyajeet, that this has not been done despite this being a public information? Aja Satyajeet.
I think, Amrita, preventing and checking attacks by terrorists, I think we need what involves a multi-layered mechanism to protect ourselves, and I think we should evolve a system through which we can protect the citizens. That is lacking. I think the first one which is lacking is the intelligence gathering. As we said that whenever the government of Manipur speaks about truth, when the people of Manipur, especially the indigenous people, they speak about non-violent development, it is always answered with arms, bullets, and so I think intelligence gathering, the preparedness, those we are lacking. Then the other issue here, I think, which we lack is about the counter terrorist activities, which is expected from government of Manipur and government of India. If you remember the long history, as mentioned by our two panelists, if there was a bomb blast in the Manipur Valley when there was armed forces special powers, you remember the Malem massacre, it was a blast somewhere else, and all those people who were standing in the stand, they were killed. And you remember about the Harangantong incident, the massacre, the Rims massacre, all the medical students were killed. So I think Manipur has experienced enough violence. We have endured such a violence for such a very, very pretty long time. I think the entire problem lies with how the government of India deals with the people of Manipur. Politically, if you look at the history of Manipur, we were an independent nation prior to 1949, and after we joined India, we were given a very, very low status, and we got status only in 1972. I mean, this is a very, very long time. Then, if you look at our linguistic movement also, Manipuri language is a classical language. It was given it was given much later. Then, if you look even at the people coming out, those who wanted to visit Manipur to develop the people, foreigners were not allowed. Only during the UPA regime, it was foreigners were allowed to visit Manipur, whereas illegal immigrants who wanted to come here, settle here, and destroy the geography, destroy the people, destroy our cultural heritage, they were allowed to come. So I think we are seeing a very, very unfortunate, political developments developing in our region. And the government of India also deals with the people, deals with the problem from a different perspective. They do not see the people. If you look, recently the statue of Maharaj Shivaji, it collapsed in Maharashtra.
Mm-hmm.
The Prime Minister went there and apologized to the people of Maharashtra. So just see the difference. And there was after the Manipur crisis, there was a train accident. The Prime Minister went there. He consoled the victims, and he posted in various social media platforms that he says the grief and sorrow of the bereaved family. Just take the example of the woman who was killed yesterday. There was so far I haven't seen any condolence from any of the, as I mentioned in the first round, that from these central leaders. Those are the issues which people of Manipur feel that we have been neglected. We are treated as third-class citizens, which we do not deserve. We have contributed to the development and the progress of this nation to the best level. I mean, what we must have contributed in spite of our young friends and young brothers and sisters who have been killed in fake encounters, whatever we have endured, still we have contributed to the best level. And the government of India also should not see us as pawns in a chess game. We should be treated as humans. This is exactly what is lacking. And I think this is the time for the people of Manipur to be involved, to discuss the situation. If you see the reaction of the people of Manipur, it is reactive also. We react whenever there's an incident. We do not have a proper plan. And if you look at yesterday's incident also, those who committed the crime on our citizens, on our women and children, they projected in such a way that they were the victims. And most of the newspapers in India they did not publish it properly, so people are not aware of who the victims are. So what they did was they started condemning the some of the cookie organizations. They started condemning the drone attacks. So people thought that they were the victims. So I think the media also, I think they should rise to the occasion, and they should start investigating rather than publishing informations which are given to them without verifying the facts. They just publish it. It hurts the victims. It hurts our. Just imagine what the family of the young woman who died yesterday must be thinking. So I think this is the perfect time for the people of Manipur to come together and decide what we should do. And I think we should have an intelligence here also, because everybody cannot be involved. When the mass freedom struggle movement in India took place, the Indian National Congress took the initiative, and so I think we need the intelligentsia to come together. And the other issue which we want to feel is we should allow our intelligentsia, the civil societies, to grow up. We should not impose them, and we should not, there are so many factors playing nowadays. Criminal activities, are due to the crisis, then extortion, so many activities are going on. I think it should be allowed to grow. If the intelligentsia are crushed, I think there will be no one to speak for Manipur also. So I think we need proper coordination. We should help each other, and otherwise we will fall into the trap of the illegal immigrants who are financed They have a large number of income. Their budget is extremely high, 70,000 crores. It may be even more than, and it's still, they said it is still going on through Bangla, through Mizoram and other states. And they have the money, they have the will, they have the backing, they have the resources, they have the weapons to continue the violence, and they want the violence to continue because they have an alternate motive. If the crisis lingers on, they feel that the government of India will listen to them. Thank you.
Very good point, Oja. Now moving on with that statement, and while speaking on this topic, to Oja Malem, that I'd like to ask to you and know from you is that the things that we have been witnessing, the fresh violence, and then there is condemnation, and then there will be more vocal people being vocal against the government, against the communities, against the Indian government or whoever is responsible, and then they will demand resignations of such and such, and then this there will be a certain press release or official statements from the authorities, and then the people will be kept quiet, and then normal activities will resume, and then there will be another violence, and this cycle will continue. So the question is, this cycle continues and continues on, and while a silent spectator, not just a silent, but in fact a very involved spectator, just sits and watches all of this. So my question to you is, Oja Malem, how do you think that we can break this cycle with the context of what's happening right now?
This will go on. You presume that the violence started from the May 3rd, but it started much earlier. It started as the counterinsurgency measures since the beginning of 21st century. The clandestine agreement was exposed in 2006-7. Then this is how the tripartite agreement was entered, called SHU, suspension of operations in 2008. But as far as the peoples, particularly the Meiteis, are concerned, they are living in a completely different world, an individualistic world, or a world where civil societies and parties compete one another, not for some common agenda or some common strategy, but to advance their own individualistic and sectarian objectives. We have not been organized ideologically, strategically, and the tactical unity that the Meiteis have from time to time at the level of civil societies and mass activisms were reactive in nature. We were never united, or for instance, even against armed forces, special powers, like, or whatever it is. So so we as a community, as a people, have failed to build up a precise understanding of the situation, the way forward, how to move forward, where to unite, who are the common enemies, who is the bigger force, who is the little force or the proxy force, etc., etc., etc. We are lagging far behind in this. So these cycles of violence, well orchestrated one, well premeditated and strategically designed since the beginning of 21st century, which now have exploded to a different level from May 3rd, 2023, is not something new. But Meiteis are still lagging behind to learn this alarming trait. They are still at a loss, and they still do not have the capacity to build up a force strong enough to bargain with the big superior force who have created their proxies to continue with the ongoing disturbance in Manipur. So I would say that we need to introspect, we need to rethink. If we have to live together as a community, and if we have to defend the idea of Manipur, I think this platform itself is not the right platform to elaborately expose all the weaknesses.
Yes.
But still, it's a hint that I'm giving. Cookies are far advanced now, for various reasons. As I was telling, they were well prepared, and the big superior forces behind them to indulge in all these terror activities for their greater, larger end. And it's high time that Meiteis should start thinking politically, economically, militarily, and at the levels of propaganda and technology, and be well prepared for any eventuality of war that will threaten its territorial integrity and that will threaten its peoples. So like reactive tactics that we've been adopting has to be abandoned. We have to be strategically planned. We have to, as I said, militarily prepared, politically prepared, and psychologically prepared, ideologically prepared, strategically prepared, and only then we will be able to defend. We have to go back to the past and study how Manipur was evolved and how it has been defended, where we failed since 1949. This has to be understood. But unfortunately, unfortunately, majorities of the Meiteis are still living in a completely, different and imaginative, individualistic and sectarian world. And this is the main cause of their weaknesses, and this is the main cause of the setbacks. This is why a microscopic entity like the Kuki terrorists are able to continuously carry out all these offensive terrors without any, without any restraint.
Just to clarify, Oja Malem, can you elaborate when you mentioned that Manipur needs to be united militarily? Because do you agree with Oja Shanta's earlier point, saying that since the government of India has completely abandoned the people, and even the security forces nor the state police have been seen anywhere near the places that violence has taken place, do you think that the people, or what other ways can people fight this? Can you elaborate that in that context?
I said Meiteis should be united. I don't at that point of time say Manipur should be united. The attack is on Meiteis.
Right.
And Meiteis are lacking tactical, strategic and logistic support for the time being. So it's for the Meiteis to unite, and Meiteis, it is only when Meiteis are united that they would have to work towards developing all strategic and tactical supports and propaganda, whatever it is. But as far as as far as the situation is concerned, there is security lapse, we said, but this is not a security lapse. It's a deliberate design. That is what I'm saying. Leaving the Meiteis completely exposed to succumb to terror pressure. This is what I'm saying. There is no security lapse, but there is a deliberate negligence of the responsibility of the government to defend Manipur and to defend the people. It's a deliberate design to kowtow, to force the Meiteis to surrender to the terrorist demands. That's what I'm saying. It's not a question of lapse.
Not a question of lapse, but deliberate act from the side of the...
deliberate attempt to force the Meiteis to surrender. This is what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll take that point and have one question I'd like to ask, and also I'll carry that to Oja Shanta. We have heard Oja Malem said regarding this, and also it agrees with your point earlier, saying that the Indian government has completely abandoned the people of Manipur, especially the Meiteis, and it aligns with that, with what you had said. So on that note, Oja Shanta, my question is that there is one other issue that I'd like to highlight, that regarding the violence in Kotruk yesterday, various CSOs have already said and demanded resignations of the security advisor and also the DGP, but they have not demanded resignation of the chief minister. But this time, as we have been discussing on this topic, we have seen that both the government of Manipur as well as the government of India has completely forsaken people at their own. So do you think that the chief minister also need to take some responsibility? Because when CSOs demand resignation of security advisor and a DGP only, it limits it looks like the chief minister is limited from that. Do you think that chief minister is above accountability? What would you have to say to that?
See, the government of Manipur and the leader of the state, as per the last election, at present he is the owner of the state. We cannot deny that he is not responsible for whatever has been happening in the state, because he is the sole owner of the state. He is the person who has to decide politically, who has to decide militarily, who has to decide intelligence wise and everything. But if he is not being given the power to exercise which he is sitting into, he is having the chair from where he can sign all those papers, where he can call the people, where he can order if he is not being given the power, or if he has been made to limit the power with, then he should leave the party. Since BJP is in New Delhi and BJP is the party, BJP Home Minister is handling this, who has promised since the starting of May 3 violence, he promised that he will come back within a month and this is supposed to end. And then he came back prior to the MP elections, and then he again promised that Manipur won't be broken into pieces. And then he even claimed many times that this, the violence in Manipur is because of different reasons. As per him, he has changed his statement 2-3 times. Now, if the chief minister, apart from seeking his resignation, I don't think this is the right time to seek a resignation of a chief minister, or to end the government and to ask for a new government. But like as Ozam Malem rightly said, that we have to get united politically as well. If we are not the leader of the state is being denied with the power to handle all these things, then he should leave the party. He and all the leaders, all the MLAs, MPs should resign from the membership of the party, not from the government. The government should retain and take the things in their hands and decide what we want to do and how we want to take Manipur as a state, and how we want to relate with the Indian Union and the Indian law. If an elected government, if an elected chief minister is denied, I think he's not using his power, or he's not being he's being denied of some of the powers, because the dropping of bombs with using drones is still continuing. Now in Senjam Chirang, the lady which has been hurt is hurt because of a bomb being dropped in her village. Knowing this, and it's already 24 hours since yesterday that all these things happen. So now if the government is not able to take the matter as per law, they have already given, Home Department has given the order to go for sensitization from Kaithal Manbi to Kautruk. But is it happening? Is the army, or is the central forces, is the police, is the intelligence working on that? Even after 24 hours, the firing is still continuing, which means that the leader of the house or the present government is not having the power, or their orders are not being followed. If their orders are not being followed, they should leave the political party whom they are backed with, but they should not resign, because the time and the hour says that we need a leader who can carry forward.
And also, just to interrupt you there, you said that there needs to be a sensitization of these areas, these very violence hit areas. But since for the last 16 months, we have known that these areas are very sensitive to violence, and these violence attacks have been carried out in such areas, including Kautruk. It is also again happened this time in Kautruk, Senjam Chirang and Kadangban. All these areas have been very sensitive to violence, and they are the worst hit, to be honest. But there has been 16 months now, and the government has not taken any step to sensitize these areas. What do you think would these fresh attacks would do any change in their decision?
No, it is not going to change anything. As per our chief, as per the leader of the state, the chief minister, I think there might have been a political dialogue going on which he doesn't want to openly say. But as being a political, being the chief minister of the state, he somewhere mentioned it. So I think the the militants are not very happy with whatever is going on. Like this Thado guy whose home has been attacked, and different developments which are being coming up. Assam chief minister requesting different things. You see, all these things, I think it's a very correlated matter. Correlated matter in the sense, because the militants usually retaliate when the chief minister, starts saying that the violence is about to end, or I am doing this, I am doing that, or our state is doing this, our state is doing that. The thing is, the major issue is that I think we should keep silent for a while and look into what the developments are and defend. And not even defend, we should also attack. But we as a citizen of the country, not even, let's forget about Manipur, we as a citizen of the country, India, we should look into, we should have a proper understanding how the law has been differentiating between us and the militants. We should rather stop calling cookie. We should always say militants, because there are people within the cookie nomenclature who are indigenous tribe, who want to speak up, who may have got frustrated because of the situation, but due to the law they are not able to speak up. You have a look at the political background of the tribes in Manipur. Every tribe who calls themselves cookie, they have their own armed group. They are the only ones in the whole world who has their own armed group. You say Haukip, they have their own armed group. Thadau, they have their own armed group. You call Paike, they have their own armed group. The difference between the picking up of arms between the Meitei revolutionaries and the cookies are entirely different. Government of India should understand that cookies want to break the state. Breaking Manipur means breaking up of India. But Meitei revolutionaries have a different belief. They believe that our people believe that we're an independent kingdom. There are two kinds of revolutions in Manipur, okay, in Northeast. One is people who believe in the 2000 years of history, who want to retain the historical image, and the other one is who want to suck out money, who want to be with India, stay inside India, and you want to take whatever advantage from it by suppressing the indigenous people through making a flag in the name of cookie or other different tribe. This is what we have to understand. For the time being, we have to retain the government and fight with the central government by making them realize that if we are supporting you as a political party and you are not giving us such power to defend ourselves or take action against the militants, then we leave you. This is what they should be doing. But at times, we strongly as a people, we feel that they do not want to leave the party. They strongly believe in the party which is not taking any action against the militants. Look at the letter which R.K. Imo just sent yesterday. He has put up in his Facebook page why he has not taken up a zero FIR against the people, against the militants, why he has written to the Home Minister, why he has not complained to the present government. This is a big question. You see, it's a very political matter. I do not want to comment too much on political things, but me as a common citizen, I strongly feel that if the central government is not allowing your elected government to utilize your power or utilize the constitutional post, then you should leave them and take up the matter in your own hand and defend your state. That is what they have been doing.
Good point, Oja. So, Oja Satyajeet, we have been listening to Oja Shanta speak. So, do you have anything to supplement to Oja Shanta's comments?
Oh yes, I think most of the issues have been covered very well by both the panelists. And what I can say at this juncture is, as we have been discussing, that there seems to be a lacuna. There seems to be a political vacuum. There seems to be a decision body, the decision body. I think decisions are not taken at the proper places. We need a government which can rise to the occasion, which can shout to the center and say that this is the time to act. And I think that the government of Manipur is not able to send the correct message to the center also. The center needs to be informed about the actual position which is happening in Manipur. And the other aspect which the government of Manipur should inform the center is that the people who are creating problems in Manipur, they are not able to, they cannot be convinced through talks. Some of them needs to be prosecuted. Some of them needs to be held responsible. We need to follow what the Britishers did, that is the carrot and stick policy, because we cannot suffer for their political whims. People of Manipur have suffered enough. People of the entire nation have suffered enough. I think this is the perfect time for the government of Manipur to act and help those who are responsible for the crimes. They should be booked and they should be punished as per law. And I think the government of India, one issue which I want to raise is that the government of India pays emphasis to those people who speaks through violence. people of Manipur have suffered enough because after we joined India in 1949, we were very good citizens, but we didn't get anything. Nagaland, which was a part of Assam, it protested through violently. It got statehood before we got. So I think the government of India should speak to those who are reasonable. I think the people of Manipur are reasonable. The indigenous people of Manipur are reasonable, and they should be looked after. And I think they should kick out those persons who are not reasonable and who are creating problems in our state. Thank you.
Thank you, Jas. Now, since we have almost come to the end of today's program, I'd like to I'll let Oja Malem have the closing remarks of today's topic. And since we have heard all the points that have been spoken, so Oja Malem, what are your closing remarks on the topic? Are we back to square one in context with yesterday's fresh violence?
From the past and the present and the future, as a Meitei, I would like to say, fight to win, or lose, surrender and flee. And if you have to win, you have to come together, come to strength, stop all these individualistic and sectarian competitions for personal gains and sectarian gains. This is not going to help politically, economically, technologically, militarily. So you have only two options: fight to win through unity, or succumb to the pressure, surrender and flee this state. Only two options.
Very good. Very good points, Oja. So, Oja Shanta, just 1 minute. I'll give you just 1 minute. Do you have any closing remarks to give to today's discussion?
What I would like to say is, the people needs to decide where they are standing. We cannot clap for at times we cannot clap for what the Honorable Chief Minister says. Then we cannot clap for what the opposition says. We need to decide what we are accepting and what we are rejecting. You see, when an attack happens, we actually feel bad that a combing operation or something is going to take place on our side. But we have never questioned why the other side has not been combed. Why the other side has been let free. So if we cannot, if we cannot utilize the law for which we have voted, then there is no point of voting. Our protests should be heard by the country in a way that we do not have trust, not in the leader, but in the constitution. We have to look at the point. We have to come up at a place where we can make them feel that we do not want to, not even talk to you or hear to you. We do not want to salute on the Republic Day of such a country for whom we have voted and we are not been looked as a citizen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Oja. Since we have come to the end, I'd like to take this opportunity, this moment, to thank our panelists for being here tonight, Oja Satyajeet, Oja Malem, and Oja Shanta, for being here and being a part of today's program. Thank you all once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I'd also like to thank our viewers for tuning in tonight. We'll be back again next Monday with more exciting topics. Until then, this is Amrita signing off. Have a good week.